Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. Glad everybody could be with me on this good Monday. Please make sure you subscribe to me on SoundCloud, Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. I'm on TikTok at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod, and I'm also on Instagram at I'm Not Repeating Myself Pod. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Um, with this government shutdown going on, I hope some of my listeners, man, y'all making it through. If you do work, government jobs that are affected, because man, this shit is crazy. Actually, I wanted to go ahead and start off the podcast with that. Basically, just give my opinions on it. Get some information basically as to what's going on, because now we just hit a record for the longest government shutdown in history. The last time we had one, I believe, was 2018, 2019. That extended, I think, for 35 days. I think we are in day 38. So many of y'all might be asking, what the fuck is going on with this government shutdown? So basically, you know, government has to come to an agreement on a bill, a spending bill, when the previous one expires. This one was set to expire October 1st. And, the government basically has to come to an agreement and get it to Trump so Trump can sign off on it. Now, even though the Republicans control both chambers of Congress, in the Senate, in the upper chamber, they fell short of a certain amount of votes. I think it was like 60 or something like that. So that gave basically the Democrats some room to basically have a say-so. And one of the biggest pillars in this whole government shutdown is healthcare. Healthcare has been the biggest thing. Republicans are like, nah, we can negotiate after the shutdown, just reopen. Democrats are like, nah, because if we do that, then millions of Americans are going to be affected. One of the main things is the Affordable Health Care Act. A lot of the tax credits that can help millions of Americans. They want to basically renegotiate these subsidies. And the Republicans are like, nah, let's just go ahead and reopen. Let's go ahead and reopen, man, and get this shit going, and then we can basically revisit this later. Democrats are like, nah, we're gonna put our foot down, like, because the Americans, the millions of Americans who depend on this, don't deserve this type of treatment, basically. So then what happens? So being that they can't come to an agreement on this bill, you have to shut down. What affects things when you have to shut down? You have SNAP benefits being affected. You have, air traffic control workers who are basically working for free or not working at all. Flights being delayed. People who work government jobs, they're not getting their checks. So when it does reopen, they have to, rely on back pay. But in the meantime, they're not getting a check. So this whole thing has been going on for at least 38 days now. And, all I can say is, man, if you're out here, man, and you work for the government or you depend on, SNAP benefits, my heart goes out to you for real, man, because this shit shouldn't be going on like that. Again, just to give a little bit more breakdown. So like I said earlier, Republicans currently control both chambers of Congress, but in the Senate or upper chamber, they are short of the 60 votes needed to pass a spending bill, which gives opposition Democrats some negotiating power. Democrats want the bill to include an extension of expiring tax credits that make health care insurance cheaper for millions of Americans, and a reversal of Trump's cuts to Medicaid, a government health care program used by millions of elderly, disabled, and low-income people. Democrats also oppose spending cuts to government health agencies. A stopgap bill designed to avoid the shutdown was passed in the House or lower chamber, but did not clear the Senate. And so on October 1st, the U.S. government shut down for the first time in nearly 7 years. And of course, the last time we had one was when Trump was in office, which was 2018, 2019. It was actually 35 days. Again, the government shutdown requires the two parties in the Senate to find a compromise that Trump will sign. But a lot of it is basically, the Republicans basically trying to, in my opinion, from my vantage point, it looks like the Republicans are trying to put the blame on the Democrats because they don't want to reopen. But from the Democrats' perspective, it makes sense that, they're basically looking out for the people who depend on these healthcare benefits, because if they go ahead and reopen, millions of Americans who have affordable health care, all those premiums and shit will skyrocket. Basically, them shits will skyrocket, and we all know a lot of Americans can't afford that. So, again, transportation has been affected as far as flights. Air traffic reduction is expected to reach 10% of all domestic flights. And all this is leading up right before Thanksgiving too. So, this is crazy. Money for SNAP, commonly known as food stamps, also run out. The 41 million people enrolled in the program were warned in late October they will lose their food assistance, but lawsuits have aimed to keep it going. So basically, man, all this shit is just a battle of power, man. It's basically a battle of power. One trying to hold nuts on the other one, in my opinion. Like, I'm speaking to a particular audience, so I don't really deep dive into politics. I know what I'm supposed to know, but just to give y'all the gist of what's going on, that's basically all that's going on, man. A battle of power, and one side not wanting to fold to the other. That's what it looks like, in my opinion. And ultimately, the people are always affected. I always look at it like, if we have a government, the government is there to serve the people. You get what I'm saying? Like, granted, we all won't agree on everything. So you even have some Republicans who don't agree with other Republicans. You got some Democrats who don't agree with other Democrats. But a common theme that I see that's going on is we only in a shutdown, it seems like, when Trump is in office, especially since I've been an adult. You know what I'm saying? Again, the last time we had a shutdown was in 2018, 2019. So hopefully, man, this, not to really deep dive too much, hopefully this shutdown ends quickly so everything can get back to normal. People can have their SNAP benefits. People who are basically working for free right now shouldn't be working for free. So I want to salute the people who are also working for free right now. If you are working for free amidst this government shutdown, salute to you, because I know that's not easy to do. A lot of y'all, need that check. You're not really relying on the back pay, which you shouldn't. So definitely salute to all the workers right now who are choosing to work for free, and salute to those who choosing to stand their ground. Like, my time is valuable, and I should be compensated for it. So granted, you got a lot of people who want to catch flights, or people who work air traffic control, TSA workers and all that. Hey, if they're not there right now, I'm hearing flights have been getting delayed 5 or 6 hours. You can't really blame them guys. You can't blame them. And you got to definitely salute the ones who are still choosing to come into work, because they're just basically looking out for the people who want to catch flights. They don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. That's another thing, too. So I salute both sides. I salute the people who are still choosing to go in and work, and I definitely salute the ones who are choosing to stand their ground. And hopefully this shutdown can end, man, because it's just ridiculous, man. And I always look at politics as, it's just, like I said earlier, this is a battle of power. Like, to me, it's never really that serious. And the reason why I can never fully dive into it, because ultimately it's always going to be some shady shit going on. Everybody's not always going to agree with everything that's going on. But if it's for the betterment of the people, there really shouldn't be an argument. That's how I feel like. Because I see what the Republicans are trying to do, and it's real slick type behavior. So they're really trying to pass the buck on, put the blame on the Democrats to, oh yeah, well, we could be reopening. Yeah, but if we reopen, then millions of Americans are going to be affected by this. Then they're going to come back and point the finger at us. So granted, yeah, the shutdown is going on because they don't agree on this bill, but they for their reasons, they have a right to. They definitely have a right to, man. So again, hopefully this government shutdown ends soon. If you're not really familiar with what's going on, I advise you to please do your proper research. Even with you listening to me right now, please make sure you do your research and look up what's going on, man. We have midterms coming up next year. A lot of the states will be voting their governor officials. My state in particular, in South Carolina, will be voting for a new governor next year. So all this shit is important. All this shit goes into the House of Representatives, who's going to represent, the states, as far as who's going to control the Senate, and all of that. So it's very, very important that you at least pay attention to what's going on in your state and local level. So moving on, man. Moving on. So Grammy noms dropped, and you know me, I mainly just pay attention to the rap and R&B shit. So just go ahead and getting right into this shit. We had best rap album nominees. We got Let God Sort 'Em Out, Clips, of course, Glorious. You got Glorilla, God Does Like Ugly with Jid, GNX by Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator with Chromacopia. So I've been consistent in my point as far as who I have, the best rap album since last year. Excuse me, y'all. I cannot talk today. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm gonna get right though. My bad. Slow it down, some Mike. Slow it down. So again, best rap album nominees you have "Let God Sort 'Em Out" by Clips, "Glorious" with Glorilla, "God Does Like Ugly" with Jid, GNX Kendrick Lamar, Chromacopia, Tyler the Creator. So if you've been following me, of course, I've been an advocate for GNX. I believe GNX should be best rap album of the year, top to bottom. I think it's Kendrick's second best album, right behind Good Kid, Mad City. It's just a great body of work, man. No skips, absolutely no skips on that album, man. And it was a surprise album too. Like, so for him to come with a surprise album and it flow the way that it did, 12-track album, there's really nothing that's, I mean, if there's a track on this album I listen to the least, it might be Gloria. But other than that, Whacked Out Murals, dope intro, Squabble Up, Luther, Man at the Garden, Hey Now, Reincarnated. Reincarnated, I feel like, is Kendrick Lamar's best rapping he ever did on the song. That's my personal opinion. And I stood firm on that. And I still feel like that. TV Off, Dodger Blue, Peekaboo, of course, another big hit. Heart Part 6, fire. Fire. No disrespect to the other nominees in this category. Let God Sort 'Em Out, Clips. And, actually, Jid, I reviewed his album earlier this year. It was a pretty good album. I'm not surprised that he got nominated. But if I had to pick one, if it wasn't GNX, it would have to be Let God Sort 'Em Out. So that's as far as the best rap album nominees. Best R&B album nominees, you have Beloved by Giveon, Why Not More, Coco Jones, The Crown, Let Us See, Escape Room, Tiana Taylor, Mutt, Leon Thomas. You already know who I'm going with. Leon Thomas has continued to kill. Mutt was a great album. He also dropped the deluxe version of that album as well. Love it. I hope Leon Thomas takes the crown. Is that honestly? I hope he wins for best song too, because the best song nominees are "Folded" by Kalani, "Heart of a Woman" Summer Walker, "It Depends" Chris Brown and Bryce Tiller, "Overqualified" Duran Bernard, "Yes It Is" Leon Thomas. So if Leon Thomas doesn't win for "Yes It Is," I do see Kalani winning for "Folded," but my personal pick would be "Yes It Is" by Leon Thomas. So hopefully he takes both of those awards in the R&B category for best R&B album and best R&B song. Best rap song nominees, you have "Anxiety" by Doechii, "The Birds Don't Sing" by The Clips, "Sticky" Tyler the Creator, Glorilla, Sexy Red, Lil Wayne, TGIF, Glorilla, TVR, Kendrick Lamar, and Lefty Gunplay. So if I had to pick, I'll probably give the edge to "The Birds Don't Sing" because that's a heavy track. And when I reviewed that album back in July, I was like, that was a very, very big risk for them to go ahead and start the album out with that type of heavy song. But it fit. It made sense. And I gotta salute them. I gotta salute the Clips for doing that, because it's not easy to go out there and do a track that heavy, especially when you're talking about the loss of your parents. So I definitely see them winning the award for that. TV Off definitely could win, because that's, of course, that's a banger. But definitely, it's definitely going up. It's definitely going up as far as that record. That record has continued to go off. Next up, you have. I just closed that window out by accident. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Oh, best rap performance nominees. Okay, you got "Outside" by Cardi B, "Chains and Whips" by The Clips, "Anxiety," Doechii again, TV All, Kendrick Lamar, Let the Gunplay, "Darling," Tyler Creator, and Tizo, "Touchdown." If I had to give the win to this one, I probably would say, from performance standpoint, I'll probably give it to TV Off. Album of the year, you have Swag, Justin Bieber, Mayhem, Lady Gaga, Bad Bunny. I don't know how to pronounce this album. Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter, Let God Sort 'Em Out, Clips, GNX, Kendrick Lamar, Mutt, Leon Thomas, Chromacopia, Tyler Creator. Now this category is heavy. This category is very, very heavy. So this is tough because I love GNX. I think GNX should win Album of the Year, but you got Mutt with Leon Thomas, and I love that as well. It's gonna be between Let God Sort 'Em Out, GNX, and Mutt for me. If I had to pick a winner, they might get that shit to Justin Bieber or Bad Bunny. They might not have a rap or R&B album win for album of the year in the Grammys. You already know how that shit go. You already know how that shit go. I think that's all the nominees as far as that I care about. So yeah, it's mainly just rap and R&B for me. So I'll be interested to see who takes home these victories because it definitely was a dope year for R&B and it was a dope year for rap. Of course we're coming off the heels of the is rap is hip hop dead in terms of because of no songs charted them. But no, it was a great year. It was a great year. I definitely see the Clips winning, if not one, maybe two. Kendrick Lamar, if not one, maybe two of these awards as well. But we definitely will see. But if I had to have my picks for best rap album, it's gonna be GNX. Best R&B album, Mutt, Leon Thomas. Best R&B song, I'm gonna give it to Leon Thomas again for Yes It Is. And for best rap song, I'm gonna give it to The Birds Don't Sing by the Clips. So we'll definitely see how this goes. It's gonna be, I think 2026 is gonna be another good year for rap. And again, 2025 has been a great year for rap, especially for the veteran rappers. If you know you've been following, you've been listening to me. If this is your first time listening to me, I encourage you to go back and listen to previous episodes. I definitely be giving the veteran rappers their roses, their flowers and shit, because all of them got busy. Again, Ghostface, of course, you had the Clips, you had who else? Jaden Beans also was supposed to drop this year. I don't know if they're still gonna drop, but they're supposed to drop this year. But it's definitely been a dope year. Freddie Gibbs, of course, and I think Freddie Gibbs didn't get nominated. Did Freddie Gibbs get nominated? Let me double check. Let me see because Alfredo 2, I believe, was supposed to be nominated. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it did not. It didn't get nominated. It did not get nominated. Uh, yeah. Alfredo 2 released in 2025 has not been nominated for a Grammy Awards. Grammy National Count Alfredo 2 is not present, but Glorilla is. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Alfredo 2 definitely got nominated. That's crazy Freddie didn't get that nod. That's crazy. No disrespect to Glorilla, but I would have gave that nod. I would have gave that nod to Freddie over her. No that was an amazing album. I think that's up there. That might be Freddie Gibbs' best album, man. So he definitely should have got the nod on that. That's insane. That's insane that he did not get that nomination, bro. Mm. I want to see. I want to see like what was what was the reason why he didn't get that. That's shocking to me. Let me see. Alfredo. That's definitely a Grammy snub. That's definitely a Grammy snub. Uh, yeah, Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist received zero Grammy nominations for their 2025 rap album Alfredo 2. Yeah, that's crazy. So that's definitely a snub if I had to say. No disrespect to anybody else in that category. I will put Alfredo 2 in there over Tyler Creator and Glorilla. Again, no disrespect to them, but I'm definitely putting that in there. I'm definitely putting that in there. So we definitely gonna have to see how that plays out. Definitely gonna have to see how that plays out. So moving on, I came across this article that was ranking the top 100 rap albums of all time by readers. So I want to just go ahead and name. Of course, I'm not gonna run through the whole 100. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just name some of the notables. Clips Laura Willing came in at 100. Ice Cube Death Certificate came in at 98. Some other notables: Young Thug Barter 687. Missy Elliott Super Duper Fly 75. It's kind of UGK Riding Dirty 80. I think that's kind of low. Dr. Dre 2001 67. Drake Take Care 68. Pusha T Daytona 61. Lil Wayne and Carter 352. That's way too low. You already know how I'm giving it up. Jay-Z The Black Album 45. That's kind of too low. Graduation Kanye West 41. Yeah. That's too low. Kanye West Late Registration 31. All Eyes on Me by Tupac 26. Too low. Outkast AT Aliens 27. Ghostface Killer Supreme Clientele 25. Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP 24. I'm surprised I don't got that higher. Kendrick Lamar, Damn, 23. Surprised they don't got that higher. Only Built for Cuban Links, 22. 21, Mob Deep, The Infamous. I'm gonna go ahead and run through the top 25. 20, Kanye West, A College Dropout. Maybe a little bit too low. Jay-Z, The Blueprint, 19. Too low. Too low. You already know how I feel about that. Kanye West, Yeezus, 18. Way too high. That's way too fucking high. Dr. Dre, The Chronic, 17. I've seen it on lists be higher, but for me, I'm not mad at that placement. Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, 16. BC Boys, Paul's Boutique, 15. The Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders, 14. 13, Outkast, Think On Ya. Number 12, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. Number 11, Jizza, Liquid Swords. That's too high. That's too high. Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation, Millions to Hold Us Back. I get it. Number 10. Biggie, Ready to Die. Number 9. Number 8, Outkast, Aquemini. Number 7, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. 7. Now, I'm surprised they had this album this high, but then again, it's too fucking low. It's too low in my opinion. That's, for me, it's top 2 rap album all time, and without a doubt should be top 5. Without a doubt. Number 6, A Tribe Called Quest, A Low End Theory. No, that's too high. Number 5, Mad Villainy. No. No disrespect at all, but no. Number 5, hell no. Number 4, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Now, I'm not mad at Good Kid, Mad City being a top 5 rap album of all time. Would I have it 4? I probably wouldn't. I probably would have it right on the outskirts of 10, maybe top 10. I would have to sit down and do one. Number 3, Kendrick Lamar, The Pimp a Butterfly. Come on, man. Stop it. I kind of felt like these niggas forgot that they had both of them on the list and tried to sneak it on here, but you sneaked it in on the top 5. To Pimp a Butterfly is nowhere near top 5, top 10 rap album of all time. I probably put it in the 50s or below. Maybe in the 50s or below, and that's me being generous. I'm not really a fan of that album like that. I think Damn is way better than To Pimp a Butterfly. I think Damn is way better to Pimp a Butterfly. Good Kid, Mad City, I understand it, but To Pimp a Butterfly, number 3 rap album of all time, no sir. So Readers, yeah, I don't know what you was thinking about that one. I can't get with that. Number 2, Wu-Tang, Into the Wu, 36 Chambers. I get it. Number 1, Nas, Illmatic. You know, I'm not really a big Nas fan like that, but I understand it being number 1. I've been on this podcast before saying that, you know, Illmatic is arguably a lot of people's GOAT rap album. Nas is arguably a lot of people's rap GOAT. So I understand. Since I've been a kid, I consistently seen Illmatic be ranked number 1 on these lists. So when it falls in the top 2, top 3, I don't really have no beef. My ultimate beef for real is To Pimp a Butterfly being number 3. No, we not doing that. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy should be top 5. I have it top 2. In my opinion, the greatest rap album of all time is The Blueprint. Blueprint is without a doubt the greatest rap album of all time. That's my top 2 would be The Blueprint and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I would have to sit down and really do the rest because my it's definitely gonna change. The Carter 2, I don't think the Carter 2 made this list. The Carter 2 would definitely be in my top 10 because I didn't see it. I saw the Carter 3 was on here. Let me see. Where did the Carter 3 come in at? Yeah, it came in at 52. The Carter 2 didn't make this list, but the Carter 3 did. And the Carter 2 is better than the Carter 3. So I'm not mad at the Carter 3 being on this list, but you gotta have the Carter 2, bro. You gotta have the Carter 2. Like, no. Some other notables. Jay-Z, the Black Album came in at 45. That's kind of too low. Life of Pablo. Yeezus being 18 is fucking insane. Yeezus, I wouldn't even put on this list. I don't think that's one of Kanye's best work at all. I wouldn't even put it in the top 100. I wouldn't. Life After Death, 60 Biggie, that's way too low. Way too low. Outkast, Speaker Box, Love Below, 57. That's kind of low. Future DS2, 62. That's kind of low. I'm definitely put that in the top. I'll probably put that in the top 30. You gotta have DS2 in the top 30. Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale. So they just got all this nigga albums in the top 100. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was a 2-pack of ass, man. I'm sorry. And that shit was a 2-pack. I do not revisit that album. Again, Kendrick's best albums to me is Good Kid, Mad City, GNX, Damn, in that order. Who else? Shit, ASAP made the list. Live Love ASAP came in at 97. Let me see if I see some other the roots things falling apart. 44. Okay. MF Doom, MF Food came in at 30. Yeah, Kanye West's graduation should be at least in the top 20. All that nigga first three albums for real should all be in the top 25, without a doubt. It's that three album run is something that hasn't been duplicated. A lot of people didn't come out the gates with three straight classics like that in real time too. I understand, Hove he had a strong front end, but it wasn't really recognition until after the fact. Nobody else, college dropout, late registration, graduation, them three, nobody has that run. So off rip, that should be in the top 25, bro. Easily. Easily should be in the top 25. So again, this is on Readers. You could check it out on Pitchfork. This is top 100 albums, but yeah, I'm not rocking with that at all, bro. Hell no. That To Pimp a Butterfly number 3, Yeezus 18. If you're gonna have Good Kid, Mad City number 4, there's no reason why you're gonna have To Pimp a Butterfly above that. That album is severely overrated. It is. It is severely overrated, bro. Severely. Damn is way better than that album. Way better. I wouldn't put it above Good Kid, but nah. And again, Illmatic being number 1, I'm not mad at that. Not mad. There's not any time I can remember where I looked at a publication that was ranking these albums and it didn't at least fall in the top 5. That was the album that changed the game. It was. I remember when I was speaking about 5-Year-Old Foreign and when he had what he had to say about Nas. Like, you got to realize when Illmatic dropped, that really changed how rap was being done for real. Like, that nigga came with the beats was on point. Now, you have a lot of people say that It Was Written is a better album than Illmatic, and I probably wouldn't disagree with that. I probably listen to Illmatic a little bit more, but I love It Was Written too. But It Was Written don't really get the recognition and the notoriety like Illmatic was because, again, the impact. I think when it comes to Illmatic, it's more about the impact. Of course, he's rapping his ass off. He's getting busy on there. But when you speak about Illmatic, it's more about the impact and the time and how he really changed rap when that album dropped. So again, you can check that top 100 out on Readers on Pitchfork. Yeah, so definitely. And also, congratulations to Max B. Max B is officially home. I just seen a video earlier with him hugging French Montana. He is home. He's been locked up probably since, when did Max go to jail? Max been in jail probably since 2009, 2010. So he's officially home. I'm definitely ready to hear the music. Max B is definitely one of my favorites as far as rappers, especially from New York class. Like the New York class, when it comes to some of my favorite rappers out that group, is definitely Max B. So it's good to see Max B home. Hopefully, we get some good music. He keep his head on straight. He be back right. But it was dope to see him embrace French Montana when he got out. Because, the Coke Boys, man. Coke Boys are back, man. I'll be definitely interested to see if him and Jim do anything. And if not, I hope it's really no goofy shit. I don't want to see Jim and Max B butting heads and none of that. But salute to Max B, man. I'm glad that he's home. It's good to see him home, man. So, moving on to some sports news, man. Ja Morant has been in the headlines. And, I've definitely been a defender of Ja Morant, especially last year when he was on a tear before he had his injury. I think Ja Morant can be a franchise player. I definitely believe he could be the best player on your franchise team. But the way that this season has started for him has not been good. Him butting heads with the head coach, and it's unfortunate. Right now he's averaging 20 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists on 37%. That's not Ja Morant level of ball play. You get what I'm saying? He's had all NBA seasons. He's had a season, that 2022 season when he was wrecking shit in the playoffs, had a great series versus the Warriors, and it's just unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate. And with everything that Ja has been going through, off court, the worst thing I hate to see is when an NBA player that I know is franchise caliber run into shit like this, especially with their franchise. But I kind of saw it last year, towards the end of last year, off the heels of his injury. Then them trading, some of their players. They traded Marcus Smart. They traded away Desmond Bane. That whole thing went down. So, they still got Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, from my understanding, the Grizzlies still want to build around Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant. And from a franchise standpoint, they should, because he is the draw in that city. That's the reason why the fans come to the game. But if it's getting to a point where it's getting too thick and the tension is rising, why not trade him? I believe they should move on from him, just because I feel like that relationship is getting strained. He might need a new change of scenery. I even seen a little funny back and forth with KD and T Morant. It's getting kind of ugly. You got John Morant in the post game talking about, nah, man. I mean, I don't know. Ask the coaches. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Did you see his play on the court? He doesn't really look like he's giving effort on certain plays. He's turning the ball over. So I think this marriage is kind of is coming to an end. And why not get full compensation for him? I'm hearing people say the Bucks. I don't like that pairing. I don't like that pairing. With John not really being a better 3-point shooter, he's gonna kind of shrink the floor with Giannis being out there. So I really don't know what destination would fit for him. Excuse me. I'm seeing Miami. I'm seeing some Miami talks. So I mean, it'll just be interesting to see, man. It'll definitely be interesting to see what's going on with that. But I want to see Job do better, just from a professional standpoint. You shouldn't be in the post game, calling out, your coaches like that. Even if y'all have a disagreement, man. Again, handle that. Off that. You get into the post game, keep it professional, bro. And you already know you have a reputation. That's another thing. John Morant does have a reputation. People are still holding on to the shit that he did off the court. So I don't want to see that be a continuous thing for him, because, opposite of Ja, you got Zion, which I'm gonna get on in a second, unfortunately, again. But I wanna read this, because John Morant also got a 1-game suspension from his post game comments last week. So even before John Morant's post-game comments last week, that led to a 1-game suspension, followed by the star guard passing on a chance to diffuse tension between himself and the Memphis Grizzlies coaching staff. Plenty of eyes are watching how the season will play out. Yeah, when they traded Desmond Bain, I think that's when it really started to go downhill. Those moves left Morant and the Grizzlies in a version of NBA limbo entering the season. Morant is just one of several franchise stars facing uncertain futures in the first few weeks of this season. Morant, whose shooting percentages are at career worst levels, seems to be still in the skeptical camp. That is believed to be a core issue with the player and the coach's locker room back and forth that preceded Sunday's suspension. His system is based on having an elite guard who has the ability to get his feet into the paint, and then all his strategy evolves from that. Morant should be a very good fit for it, but it just seems like they're not getting on the same page. So I don't know, man. I don't know if it continues to be like this. Just cut your losses and trade him. It's not like you can't get full value for John Morant. He's definitely going to demand a load. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. But I just want to see John Morant be better, man, as far as handling certain shit. So Zion's out again, hamstring. He's cooked, man. It's over. It's over. I came into the season, I'm saying, man, I just want to see him average the 27 and 7 that I know he's capable of. But he's out again for another 7 to 10 days with this hamstring. But it's just he can't stay on the court. He can't stay on the court. He cannot stay on the court. So you got to trade him as well too. But I think Zion's ceiling now, I believe, is to be like a role guy. I don't believe Zion Williamson can be the franchise guy for your team anymore. That's where I'm at with it. I do not believe Zion Williamson can be the franchise guy for your team. And it's not because of his talent. He can't stay on the court. It's just simple as that. I can't put franchise expectations into a guy who can't stay on the court. So I think his ceiling going forward is just a high-level role player. That's why I say, because he cannot stay on the court. He cannot stay on the court. And he's not shooting from the perimeter very well neither. He's not. I mean, we've seen, times where he looked like he hitting some outside shots. But ultimately, as he continues to get older, Zion is going to have to develop an outside shot consistently. And he's not really shooting from the perimeter well. So, with him being a ball dominant player, he's not shooting at the averages that you need from your franchise guy who is 6'7", 270, 280, who can, gets in the paint. But when they start packing that paint, bro, you're gonna have to shoot the mid ranges and make them. And he's not doing that right now. So I mean, then his trade value ain't really what John Morant's would be neither. So what would you really give up for Zion? Because what you're banking on is potential. It's year fucking 7. Again, I said this before, bro. It's year 7 with Zion. So the potential shit is out the door. So what are you getting? Let me go ahead and read this from one of the writers. Williams remains a talent. However, he is a ball dominant player who doesn't shoot from the perimeter and is below average defender at best. That's not exactly a desirable trade asset, even factoring in all the injuries that had limited Williamson to just playing 219 out of 480 games in his career. Williamson has only played 45% of all New Orleans games since the start of the 2019 season. God, let me look up to see what he's averaging right now. Let me see his stats, because this is ridiculous. Let me see what he's averaging. He is currently averaging. Zion is currently averaging 22 points on 48 from the field. Nothing from 3-point right now. He doesn't even have no 3-point attempts. He's shooting 66% from the free throw line, averages 6 rebounds, 4 assists. That's not it. It's not it. Again, looking at his 2020, 2021 season, 27, 7, and 3 assists. Like, come on, man. Shooting 61% from the floor. Like, this ain't it. This ain't it. So I think it's time. I think it's time for the Pelicans and the Grizzlies to move on from their stars. John Morant, more so from the standpoint of him not getting along with his coaching staff, that becoming strenuous, him shooting career lows, like that whole back and forth. If they can't fix it, go ahead and trade him while his value is where it's at right now. Because for me, I don't think it's a talent issue with Ja. Yes, he could shoot better from the perimeter. Zion, cut your ties. Cut him. Get what you can for him. Because, again, I believe going forward, this is year 7. I don't believe Zion Williamson could be the franchise guy for your team. I don't. I believe his ceiling is just a role guy. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. He had, generational on him, but he can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the court. So that's where I'm at with it with them two. Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's got bench. Klay Thompson has been playing horrendous, man. Horrendous. And I think it's time for Klay to really come to a realization that if he's not gonna be able to get his play better, he might have to retire, bro. That's where I'm at with it. Like he is shooting terrible, bro. Terrible. Let me look at Klay Thompson's stats. Let me see what he doing right now, bro. My God, bro. Right now, Klay Thompson is averaging 7 points on 31% from the floor. He's shooting 26% from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 assist on 20 minutes a game. Unacceptable as a starter. Bro. Yeah, so I'm not even mad at just looking at this. This is his points totals in every game this season so far. 10 points, 8 points, 10 points, 8 points, 5 points, 11 points, 5 points, 11 points, 0 and 0. His last game he didn't log no minutes. This is insane. His splits is looking like tour dates for real. I think Klay Thompson really needs to come to a realization. He probably doesn't. Klay Thompson look like he has a lot of pride, so his pride won't allow him to go out like this. But my God, I even seen the play where he shot the ball and the shit went behind him. I ain't never seen no shit like that. Like he has been a shell of himself for at least a year and a half now. Honestly, since he's been in Dallas, he hasn't really been impactful. Since he's been in Dallas, he has not been impactful, bro. Like last year, he averaged 14 points, 41% from the floor. He did shoot 39% from 3, but he wasn't really impactful for them. You get what I'm saying? So with Klay, it's kind of like it may be time to come to that realization, bro, because they ain't it. And the Mavericks, they got, which is another shit show. But they had no choice but to bench him. You can't be logging them type of minutes as a starter and your production is 7 points a game. Yeah, Klay, you got to go sit down, buddy. You have to go sit down. You have to go sit down, man. So that's pretty much all I got for as far as basketball and those talks. The Jets, the motherfucking Jets. The Jets went on a fire sale, man. They went on a motherfucking fire sale last week, right before the trade deadline, man. So the first one that was let me see. The Jets traded Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams, two of their standout defensive players. Just trade Sauce. See what they got for him. So they traded Sauce Gardner. With Andy Sunny sitting at the top of the AFC East. The Colts was aggressive in this trade. They sent 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell to the Jets for Sauce Gardner. So the Jets got 2 first-round picks and Adonai Mitchell for Sauce Gardner. I love Sauce Gardner. I think he is a top 5 corner easily since he's been in the league. You know, a lot of people look at his low interceptions. I don't pay attention to interceptions when it comes to corner because that's not something that you can't look at a stat sheet when it comes to a corner. You got to look at the tape. And the tape shows that he's an elite corner. So I don't really care about that whole, he ain't got 2 interceptions in his career. I don't care about none of that. If you look at the tape, Sauce Gardner 100% has been a top 5 corner since he's been in the league. But with that, I wouldn't have gave up 2 firsts and a wide receiver for him. I think that was an overpay. But the Colts, they're sitting at 7-2. I said prior to the season that they did have a playoff roster. They're 7-2 right now. I don't think they expected to be 7-2 with Daniel Jones at the helm, but they are. So they're going all in. And I understand it. So they sent 2 firsts for Sauce. I understand it. They did just lose DeForest Buckner, though, so I'm interested to see how that goes. But, hey, I'm not mad at it. I just wouldn't have gave up the 2 firsts for him. But I do think he adds a lot of value to that team. That's one side of the field that they don't have to worry about. And we all know cornerbacks are one of the hardest positions to have in the league. It's the most valuable, in my opinion. It's the hardest. So for them to go all in on an elite corner, I understand it. I salute them. And, I wish the Colts much more success, man. They did have a playoff roster. I didn't see them starting 7-2, but I did see them getting into the playoffs if the quarterback play was up to par. And their quarterback play has been up to par. So for them making this move on Gardner, I get it. I just went ahead and did it for the 2 firsts. And next up was Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. So the Cowboys traded for Quentin Williams. And I find this trade kind of funny because they traded for a D lineman when they had a guy named Micah Parsons. But I don't want to deep dive back into that. The Jets traded Quentin Williams to the Cowboys in exchange for a 2026 second-round pick and a 2027 first-round pick in D.T. Mozzie Smith. The Cowboys 100% won this trade. They 100% won this trade. You come off of Mozzie Smith, who's a bust. You don't give up your 2026 first-round pick that you acquired from Micah, so you still got your 2 firsts for 2026, but you only give up the second-round pick for 2026. And you give up the 2027 first-round pick. So that was 100% a W for the Cowboys as far as that trading Quentin Williams. Ultimately, for this season, do I think it does anything for them? No, I don't. The Cowboys are exactly where I predicted them to be at this year. One of the worst defenses in the league. Dak, he is doing his thing offensively, but if the offense ain't clicking like it wasn't against the Cardinals their last game, it's cooked. They're getting ran out the building. So I think this is a long-term trade, and we'll have to see how the Cowboys look next year. But as far as this season, the Cowboys aren't doing anything. They're not. It's done. They're not doing a goddamn thing. Let me just look at in terms of what their record looks like right now because I believe they're 3-5-1. The you got an outside shot chance, but other than that, bro, I can't look. I don't see them niggas doing anything. I just don't. I don't see them getting busy. They're 3-5-1. Let me see. Let me look at their schedule because they just lost to the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. They have a week 10. They're on a bye currently, so then they got the Raiders next. They should be able to win that. Eagles L, Chiefs L on Thanksgiving. Detroit Lions L. The Minnesota Vikings at home, maybe. Chargers L. Commanders, they might win that with their injuries they got going on. At the Giants, that's a W. So I only got them winning like 3 more games. We'll put them at 6 wins. Tough sledding for them boys, but salute to them as far as the Quentin Williams trade. I do think that they won that one, and as far as Sauce Gardner, no salute to them. And then the Jets. I mean, the Jets are the Jets. I don't really have too much to say. I said Justin Fields wasn't going to move the needle for them. It doesn't. So, the quarterback continues to hold them back. The quarterback class next year ain't looking like nothing for real. I know the guy from Indiana is on the rise, Mendoza, but I don't think he's a guy that you could look to be your franchise quarterback. So, we're just going to wait. They do got a busload of picks. That's what they did it for. So, we're just gonna see how it goes. I still believe that Aaron Glenn deserves to keep his job. Hopefully he doesn't get fired because he wasn't dealt a great hand, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Like they just gotta get that offense going. They gotta get that offense going, man. So that was it as far as those trades. I think Shaheed from the Saints, he went to the Seahawks. That adds to their weapons with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Sam Darnold doing his thing. I'm still not a believer in Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. I'm just not. Those guys are good quarterbacks, but I think that's just their ceiling. Like, yes, the numbers look elite, but as far as them, especially when we get into the playoffs, I don't see them shaking shit, bro. I don't. I don't see it. So it's gonna be tough sledding for them boys, man. It's gonna be tough sledding for them boys. Cowboys, like I said, their season is done. The Jets, it is what it is with the Jets. It's nothing. There's nothing more to say about that. So moving on, man. Antonio Brown. Sad. This is unfortunate, man. And Antonio Brown continues to be in the news for the wrong shit. That's all this is. So and I honestly, it's unfortunate, but I saw this arrest coming. So Antonio Brown extradited to the U.S. to face attempted murder charge. Brown is facing a charge of second-degree attempted murder with a firearm stemming from an alleged shooting that happened earlier this year outside a celebrity boxing match. Brown was taken into custody in Dubai by U.S. Marshal Services, brought to Essex County Correctional Facility, New Jersey on Thursday. He is now expected to be moved to Miami, Florida to face a charge of second-degree attempted murder with a firearm stemming from May shooting. Following in a thorough investigation, Antonio Brown has been identified as the shooter. Miami Police Department wrote in a statement, "This is just an example of relentless work and dedication of Miami police detectives working closely with Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office and U.S. Marshals to identify and arrest those who commit crimes in the city of Miami. A warrant was issued for his arrest in June following the shooting, which allegedly happened in May 17th at the celebrity boxing event hosted streamer Aiden Ross." It's just unfortunate, man. Ever since he's been retired, he's been in the news for the wrong stuff. While he was playing, he was in the news for the wrong stuff. His last thing, his last stint with the Buccaneers, and then end on a high note. He did, he was good for them in the 2020 season when they won the Super Bowl. But ever since his departure from the Steelers, it's been downhill. We just got to be honest. He went to New England. That didn't work out. That was supposed to be crazy. Him, Tom Brady. Then he goes to Tampa with Tom Brady again. They get busy 2020. 2021 goes downhill. And without a doubt, Antonio Brown is one of the best receivers we've seen in the 2010s. Hall of Famer. Should be a Hall of Famer, but he just can't stay out of trouble. Ultimately, I just want to see him do better. That's it. I'm not really here to shit on dude. And I'm not going to get into the CTE conversation because a lot of the times we use CTE as an excuse for behavior. And I'm just not going to jump out the window and say CTE as to why he is acting the way he's acting. That's not something I just automatically, CTE, this is why. No. We got to hold these guys accountable for their actions. This may be who Antonio Brown is. And I remember watching this video. That video was fucking insane. That nigga was tripping tripping, just letting shots off in an open crowd like that. No, bro, you're bugging. Now he is saying he was acting in self-defense, so we'll have to see how this goes. We'll have to see how this. We just have to see how this plays out, man. Hopefully, I don't want to see him locked up. Of course, I don't, but I just want Antonio to be better. That's all I want from him, man. So, again, prayers to everybody involved in this. Hopefully, I don't remember nobody being hurt in this incident, but somebody could. So, again, man, I just want to see better from Antonio Brown, man. So that's pretty much all I got this week, man. Again, thank y'all for tapping in with me, checking in with me. Basketball season is up on the rise. Shout out to my Chicago Bulls. We still doing our thing right now. We took an L Saturday, but we gonna be all right. It's way, way early in the season. Josh Giddey is doing his thing. Salute to Josh Giddey, man. Salute to Josh Giddey. We 100% won that trade. We won that trade. No disrespect to Caruso, but man, Josh Giddey has been on a motherfucking tear, man. Josh Giddey has been getting busy. Let me look at Josh Giddey's stats. Josh Giddey is currently averaging, let me see. He is averaging 21, 9 rebounds, 9 assists on 46% from the field. Come on, man. Respect my guy, man. Respect my guy. He's shooting 38% from 3, getting better from the 3-point. When he came to the league, he was shooting 26% from 3. He's now shooting 38% from 3. Career highs, man. So salute to Josh Giddey, man. I love that acquisition. He has been all as advertised for us, man. And I hope we continue to keep this ball rolling, man. So salute to them. So again, thank y'all for tapping in with me. Please continue to chase those goals. Be disciplined. Keep your head down. Keep it rolling. Don't let the little things get to you. Get your ass in the gym. Get y'all funky, lazy asses in the gym. And ultimately, please be safe. So, again, this is I'm Not Repeating Myself podcast. I'm your host, Mike. And I hope you heard what I said the first time because I'm not repeating myself. I'm out.